Good morning, gamers. Welcome to today's video. Today we will be making a tier list of all the skills in old school RuneScape. There are 23 of them, so without further ado, let's get into it. The criteria will be from the perspective of an Iron Man account, which I have, and I also have a main account. I'll throw those stats up right here so you can see my, my accolades. And yeah, so the criteria we'll be judging them on is the usefulness, so the progression, how good it is to level up, how much value it gives you when you level it up, and also when it's at 99, when it's maxed out, how useful is it in the game. And then for the next category of training methods, we're going to look at fun, how fun the training method of the skill is, and also the variety of options offered to train said skill. The rating system will be from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, and ultimately a maximum score of 40 points will be used, as you see on the grid here, in order to put it into a category. And the skills will be in order as you see here on the bottom. We're just going to go left to right. And let's get right into this. Let's go with the combat skills first. I figured that would be a good place to start since they're kind of all the same and we can use the same criteria for most of them. So attack. What does attack do? Well, when you're leveling and you're progressing through the tiers, you get more weaponry, you can equip better items, and then you can also get better accuracy during melee combat. So just for that, I would give it a 10. Very good skill to progress through to advance your account. At 99, you get the best accuracy possible. It's ultimately a DPS stat. However, the cape is not very useful, so for that I have to give that a 9. As for the fun, what's better than killing enemies and getting drops, right? Gotta rate that a 10. And variety, of course, there's a ton of monsters in the game, so we have to give that a 10 as well. Leading to a score total of 39 points, putting it happily in A tier. Next, we have Strength. Strength is a pretty good skill leveling up. It gives you more equipment to an extent with granite and obsidian, but it also is just more damage overall as you progress through the tiers. So for that, gotta give it a 10. And at 99, you get the best DPS possible, and also the cape may be useful for some teleports if you're doing clues. So for that, I'll rate it a little higher than attack. We'll give it a 9.5. And of course, the training methods are going to be 10s because of the variety of monsters, and it's always fun to kill them and get the drops. So for that, we'll rate it a 39.5, placing it in A tier. Now we have Defense. Defense is a skill that lets you equip better armor and overall just makes you take less damage. So for that, we'll give it a 9. Gives you some nice upgrades, but ultimately doesn't affect your damage, so we cannot give it a perfect score. And at 99, you get the best possible damage reduction, and also you get to equip all the armor that you want and all that good stuff. But again, it's not a DPS stat, and also the cape is pretty average. We're going to give that a 7. Leading to a total of 36 points. Again, putting it in A tier. Moving on to Ranged. While leveling, you get the progression through the bows, through the darts, or whatever you're using. Gets you more damage, more accuracy, and of course early on you can kill enemies from places where you normally couldn't with melee, for example, with safe spotting. So for that, we're going to give that a 10. Really good early game to progress through your account when you normally would have trouble killing certain things and getting certain drops. So giving that a 10 for progression. And at max, you get the best damage rolls. The cape is actually pretty good to wear around the game if you're doing ranged. However, it is dishonorable to attack them from beyond melee range, so unfortunately we have to give this a 9.5. And then obviously the fun and variety stay the same throughout all the combat skills, but the ultimate point total will be 39.5 for ranged, putting it happily in A tier. And moving on to prayer, while leveling, it's completely broken. Once you get level 43, you can protect from almost any damage in the entire game, and that will last forever, except for a few monsters that will bypass your prayer or turn them off or whatever. But overall, in general, getting your prayer up outside of any crazy niche account that's going to trivialize the game with other mechanics, prayer is one of the best abilities to level up in the game. So for that, gotta give it a 10. And at maximum level, you get the slower prayer drain, you get longer boss trips, more prayer potion values. The cape is okay, I guess. If you don't have any other capes, it can provide you with a holy wrench effect, so saves you an inventory slot. But overall, very good to have maxed. Definitely one of the best skills in the game. Got to give that a 10. And of course, the training methods, while it's not necessarily fun to bury the bones, you still have passive XP with Bone Crusher, or other methods such as getting Hydro Bones from doing boss tasks or Dagonoth tasks, getting a bunch of bones that way. It just kind of comes naturally, so there isn't really a fun aspect to it. But either way, we'll give that a 10 because it is a combat skill, and we'll have to give the variety as well because there's a lot of different bones in the game. However, you do kind of train it the same exact way, where you either bury them, put them in the Ectofuntus, or go to an altar. It kind of is the same training method no matter what you do, with an exception of maybe the insult heads. But either way, not much variety to what you're actually doing, so we're actually going to give this a 1 for the variety, putting that in low A tier, but A tier nonetheless. Now, moving on to magic. Magic early on is probably one of the most beneficial skills overall to get on a new account, especially when you get the teleports from level 25 and onwards with Varrock and Camelot, Lumbridge, you name it, it's in there. And then you got High Alchemy at 55, and you can also safe spot enemies with as early as level 1. You can just wind strike something from across a fence and kill it when you're not supposed to, for example. So for that, of course, we're going to give it a 10. At 99, the maximum accuracy will kick in. You'll be hitting more often, and also with some charged staves like the Trident or the Sanguinesti staff, you will be hitting your maximum potential, since those will roll off of your magic level. And the opposite side of that, the defense rolls for magic that you take will be at max as well. So it's kind of a DPS and a defensive stat rolled into one. Also, the cape perk is very good. I probably use that more than any other perk on my main account, just in a quick scenario where you need to switch a spell book. However, of course, like ranged, it is dishonorable to attack monsters from beyond melee range, so we're docking some points for that, giving it a 9.6. Now, the training methods, of course, are going to be the same as every other combat skill, so we have to give those a 10. So the 39.6 total will put that happily in A tier as well. And moving on to hit points. So hit points is the amount of damage you can take before your character dies. Very good to have early. You need to heal less often. You can, just run around longer and tank things, and just makes the game a whole lot easier when you're not dead. For that reason, gotta give it a 10. At maximum level, you get full value from Sarah Brews, so you can extend your boss trips, you can extend any sort of activity where you take damage, whether it's thieving or any other skill in the game. And the cape perk is pretty good, doubles your regen, so for that, gotta give it a 10 as well. And of course, it's a combat method, so gotta give it 2 10s for the training method variety. Now, perfect score will land this right into S tier. Hit points, one of the best skills in the game. Now, moving on to the non-combat skills. This is where it's going to get a little spicy. Let's start with rune crafting. Rune crafting early on is pretty rough, not fun whatsoever. You gotta kind of quest and lamp your way through it, because crafting runes is really slow. And also, rune shops exist, so you don't need to do it by any means unless you're some special account that doesn't use shops, for example. But other than that, not very useful early on or ever to prioritize. So for me, I'm going to give that a 2. At 99, the perk is okay for the 99 cape, but I think personally, once this skill hits 99, I'll just be glad it's over, and then I won't be doing any more rune crafting, so not really looking forward to this one at all. We're going to give that a 2. Training methods. The entire skill, in my opinion, was kind of saved from the release of Guardians of the Rift. That's way better than doing Abyss crafting or ZMI or even the Blood Rune crafting. So for that, gotta give this a 5, as that minigame is kind of quote-unquote fun. In terms of variety, there is, as I said, there's the minigame, there's Abyss crafting, ZMI, and maybe if you want to look at like Blood Rune crafting on Zaya. So in terms of variety, there is a decent amount of things, so I'll give that a 4. Leading to a total of 13 points. We'll put this skill in low C tier. Now, moving on to construction. Construction, while leveling, has one of the most filled unlock tables per level of any skill in the game. You can almost get something new, whether it's useful or not, from each level that you get. And as you progress through the tiers, you have really good unlocks, such as the portal room at level 50, or the mounted glory amulet, the restoration pools. It's just one of the best leveling up to feel good skills in the game based on what you get for your account. So of course, giving that a 10. And at maximum level, the 99 cape perk alone will put this as a 10, just straight up. That perk is probably going to be used most often by me personally, if not overall, if you ever have a max cape or even a construction cape. Just really good to go to your house at any time with a simple click of a cape that you're already wearing. Cannot be understated, let alone the benefit you have from having a max house. And onto the training methods. The fun level is really not there. In fact, you might actually develop RSI if you aren't careful training this skill the traditional way of removing and adding furniture in your house. So what you're most likely going to want to do is mahogany homes or some less intensive method. I personally liked mahogany homes for a little while. It's a lot less straining on the wrists, so for that I'll give it a 5. And the variety, the two methods are kind of similar. We have the mahogany homes, or you have removing and adding furniture. So at the end of the day, that's two training methods. Gotta give it a 2. For a total of 27 points, putting that into B tier. Moving on to agility. Agility early on gives you faster run restoration rate, and you can get some shortcuts. You can get access to the graceful armor set once you do enough rooftop courses. So definitely has value in leveling it up, especially early on, giving you more access to running around in the game when you really don't have any energy potions or way to restore your run energy very fast with like a house portal or clan wars or something like that. So for that, gotta give it a 10. And at 99, you get the fastest run restoration rate. You get all the shortcuts. The cape perk is okay, I guess. I don't see a use case for it, but maybe it could be good somewhere. Give that an 8. Training methods in terms of fun. Sepulture is kind of fun. Wouldn't mind doing that to 99, to be honest. It's kind of engaging, rewarding, and then you also on the side you have rooftops, which can be done while watching a movie or a show. So definitely have some options there. I'm gonna give that a 6. And in terms of variety, there are kind of a limited amount of options. Maybe Sepulture and rooftops plus another one that I'm not thinking of, but not very much variety in terms of this skill. So for that, gotta give it a 3, leading it with 27 points, putting it into B tier. Moving on to Herblore. Herblore has some very useful potion unlocks as you level through the skill. So you have stuff like prayer potions at 38, you have super strengths at 50 something, then you have like brews 81, super combats at 90. There's a lot of stuff in this skill that will help you out in terms of doing different content in the game. So gotta give this one a 10. Really good skill to have leveled up. And then at max, unfortunately the last real potion that you can make is at 98, and the perk cape I don't think I'll ever use in any capacity. I cannot see a use case for it, so for that I gotta give this a 1. In terms of training methods, during training, is this fun? I would not say so. This is a bank interface skill, as many are, but this is just not my preferred playstyle. You click the bank, you withdraw the stuff, and you make the potions, and you do this for hundreds of hours. So in terms of fun, is this fun? No, and it's also a buyable, so it's mostly about how much gold you can amass before you can even train this skill. Or in an Iron Man, it's how long you can collect herbs for and then collect the secondaries. So in terms of fun, I would give this a 1. And that being said, as a bank interface kind of skill, there's really no variety at all. Everything is the same. You're just clicking a leaf into a vial and then a secondary into the vial that you just put the leaf into. So it kind of is the same thing at all levels up until 99. So as no variety, we're going to give that an actual 0, leading it with 12 total points, putting it in C tier. Moving on to thieving. While leveling, not bad progression. You can get gold, you can get cake stalls, stuff like that, master farmers. Just gets you an early way to get food and gold and seeds, sort of useful stuff. So for that, definitely recommend doing it a little early to get your account boosted up, but I'll give that a 9 overall. And then at maximum level, at 99, it can be highly profitable for a main account or even for an iron if you want to, increase your gold stack. You can wear the cape for more chance to pickpocket, so the cape is actually kind of useful. So for that, we're going to give that a 10. Is it fun to train this skill? No. You can easily develop RSI from the rapid clicking, but it's saved by the fact that it does have some mini games, which is Pyramid Plunder and the artifacts on Zaya. So for that, gotta give this skill a 4, as it was saved by those 2 activities. And that being said, the variety, we have basically 4 to 5 viable methods to train this skill. So for that, I will say this gets a 5 in the variety category, leaving it with 28 points, putting it in B tier. Moving on to crafting. Crafting while leveling can be one of the only ways for an Iron Man to get new amulets or maybe Dragonhide items, teleport jewelry, stuff like that. Very useful, and from a main standpoint, kind of the same thing. You can make your battle staffs to alchem, make some profit that way. So it definitely does have some value to both types of accounts. Got to give it a 10. At 99, the last unlock you get for actually making something is at 98, but the cape perk is pretty good, one of the best in the game for getting close to a bank with a single click, which is the crafting guild bank. Very good to have. Got to give that a 10 as well. In terms of training, is this fun? No, this is another skill where you withdraw things from your bank and then you click on the thing in your bank and you wait a little bit. However, it is a little bit AFK, so not the most, wrist destroying skill in the game. However, it basically is the equivalent of Herblore in the fact that you just interface with a bank. So we got to give that a 0. And then no variety really for methods. You got battle staves or glass blowing, both of which are pretty annoying, but however that is a variety, so we'll have to give that a 1, leaving it with 21 points total. Going into B tier. Moving on to fletching. Fletching is one of the decent money makers early on if you just make whatever bows you can and sell them to the store, and then later on you can obviously make the U long bows, sell those to players, or alchem yourself. So can be okay early on to level up. Nothing special you really get from this. You're not going to really make your own bows to use, but you are going to make bows to sell to either players or to shops. So it could be decent. So for that, we'll give it a 5. At 99, this skill is garbage. Do not recommend. I'll give this a 0. Fun? No. This, however, is fast. It is not fun in any regard. It's just another bank skill where you withdraw some logs, withdraw a knife, and you chop the logs up into bows, and then you string them eventually. What more could be said? Not really anything. So for that, we will give that a 1. For the variety, there's really only 2 methods. You can do like darts while you do other skills. You can do like make bows, but other than that, that's about all that you have for this skill. So for that, giving that a 1, putting it as our first skill to go into D tier. Now, Slayer. Slayer early on, while you're leveling, is a great way to get upgrades for your character, either to equip on your own character or to sell to other players for money. You can get bosses unlocked. Higher level Slayer creatures will, drop some good stuff. Also, good money maker at all times once you hit 60, 70-ish Slayer and you start killing the higher monsters and all that good stuff. So for that, gotta give that a 10. For the maximum perks, the last task that you can actually kill is at 95. So for that, it's not the best skill to get to max, although it is kind of prestigious. The cape perk is decent, so I'll have to give that a 9. Is it fun to train? Well, the Slayer skill is kind of just a fetch quest. where you go kill X amount of monsters, and you go back to the guy, and he gives you another task, and you go kill the monsters again. But it is kind of fun to make a game out of it, where you're doing the task the most efficient way possible. You can bring a cannon, you could start barraging them or bursting. You know, different methods gets you a variety of different experience in various combat ways and min-maxing and efficiency. So it is kind of fun at the end of the day. We'll give that 10 points. And of course, there are a ton of tasks that you do. You can min-max your block list however you want and kind of make your own skill, so to speak. For that, gotta give that a 10. Putting that at a nice 39 points, going right into A tier. Moving on to Hunter. Hunter, while leveling, to be honest, you kind of just drop almost all of the loot that you get, whether it's the bird feathers, the salamanders, you name it. You pretty much don't keep anything unless you're doing like implings or red chinchompas, black chinchompas, or herbivores. But other than that, it's overall kind of decent to get those implings and herbivores, so gotta give it an 8. At 99, the unlock table actually scales all the way up to 99 with the lucky impling barehanded, but 94 to 98 is nothing, so kind of is a long drop before you feel like you actually got a new unlock. And the cape 99 perk is kind of average, could be useful for a teleport for a clue, but nothing very game breaking. So for that, gotta give it a 7. Is this fun? At the end of the day, I did get 99 Hunter on probably 3 different accounts. Would I say I had fun? Probably not. I liked the money that I got from doing it because I did red chins, but was it fun? No, I was kind of just clicking the same area 5x5 grid or so for, you know, a couple dozen hours. But herbivore and birdhouses are also a viable way to train the skill, so those are a little more bearable since they either train other skills or they're very low intensity. So for that, we'll give this a 3. Variety, there is herbivore, birdhouses, salamanders, chinchompas, even implings if you want to be crazy. There's definitely a variety of enemies to hunt. Whether they're good or not is, you know, it's up to you. But I think there's enough variety to make this a decent skill. I'll actually give that a 10. So 28 points will give you into B tier. And moving on to mining. Mining, while leveling, not very good. The unlocks are outdated, definitely in need of a rework, so we're going to give this a 0. And at 99, I don't see anything good with this cape. It's kind of okay, I guess, but if you're 99, you probably have all the ores that you need forever, so I'll give this a 3. Is this fun? No. Variety, there are a few methods you can do. Power mining, you can do granite, you can do volcanic mine, motherlode mine, you can mine at Guardians of the Rift for like 1,000 XP an hour. So there is kind of a lot of things to do, however they are more or less the same where you click the rock, but regardless it does have some options for you. So we're going to give that a 5. We're going to get this right into D tier with 8 points and move on. Let's go to smithing. Smithing, while leveling, quite bad, I would say. It doesn't really have much value. You're not going to make an iron armor set and equip it. You're probably just going to buy the iron armor set. Unless, you know, again, you're some niche account with no shops or no money or something like that. But in general, not very good to level. You mostly want to quest this or do some Giant's Foundry. And then at maximum level, you get the prestigious award of making runite legs. Very cool. You know, you can finally make that tier 40 armor when you're maxed out. So pretty good stuff. The cape is also okay, I guess. We're gonna give that a 4. Is it fun? Giant's Foundry is kind of fun. It's an interactive game, keeps you moving around and focused, so it's not as boring as either smelting gold ore, smelting cannonballs, smelting dart tips, plate bodies, whatever it is. So it is kind of okay. So for that, we're just going to give that a 5. Variety, there's a decent amount of variety to this skill, however, not really anything beyond minigames and then smelting or hammering the bars. So for that, we're going to give that a 4. 13 total points will put you into C tier. And we'll be on to fishing. Fishing while leveling, pretty good to get those higher healing fish. You can get better catch rates, all that good stuff. Gotta give that an 8. At maximum level, the last thing you can actually fish up or get a benefit from is at 96, with, I believe, the Zolandra scales from the eels by Zulra. The Cape perk is okay, but not the greatest, so we're gonna have to give that a 7. Training methods. It's fun. It's AFK. It's chill, low intensity. You can fish the whole day. You can just, do some crazy one-tick fishing stuff. So there's definitely, whatever fun you enjoy, there's an option for you. So we got to give that a 10. And that being said, there's a mini game. There's a lot of fish you can catch. You can do a bunch of different things in this skill. So got to give this a 10 for the variety as well, giving it a total of 35 points, putting it into A tier. Moving on to cooking. For cooking, while leveling, you can cook the fish that you get to heal up higher. You can, just stop burning things as much, make more profit if you're a main account, and just overall a good skill to have leveled up. We're gonna give that a nice 8. At max level, you will actually not get anything past 96. However, the perk that you get from the cape is pretty good, where you don't burn anything anymore. Gotta give that a 10. Is this fun? Not really. Is there variety? Well, you either cook fish on a stove, or you do like some wines. So there's not really much variety. Maybe 2 or 3 different methods you can do. Overall, it's kind of the same thing. Got to give that a 2 for a total of 20 points, putting that into B tier. Moving on to fire making. Is this skill good to progress through? Nope. At 99, is this skill good? No. Is this skill fun to train? No. Is there variety? No. For a total of 0 points, we're going to put this into the bad tier. This tier is reserved specially for skills that would not matter at all if they were completely removed from the game, like today. Moving on. Woodcutting. Is this good while leveling? Not really. The level up table is kind of sparse, as there's not many trees to actually cut down. In fact, there's 24 choppable things in the game, but none of them really give you any viable upgrades to your character. They're just kind of chopping the tree to use for other skills, whether it's fletching or fire making, or just selling them. But for that, gotta give that a 3. Not the greatest skill to progress through. At max, the last thing you get actually is the redwood trees at 90. So got 9 levels of actually nothing that you get, and the cape is kind of underwhelming. So we got to give this a 5. Is this fun to train? I would say yes. It's AFKable, it's chill, low intensity. You can just turn on a movie and click a tree and chop the day away, so to speak. So we're gonna give that a 10. Variety. Like I said, there are 24 choppable things. However, not all of those are viable training methods, but nonetheless, they are in the game, so we gotta give this a lot of variety. Putting that into B tier as well. Last but not least, we have farming. Farming while leveling has quite a lot of unlocks. I think there probably is a seed you can plant at almost every level, and it's just a good skill to grow secondaries and your own plants, just to get, and also herbs, and just get all of the necessary things that you need for herb lore, or so definitely got to give that a 10. At 99, there actually is a unlock at 99, so that's a thumbs up from me. And the cape is very good, gets you right into the farming guild, and yeah, what more could be said? That's a 10. Is this skill fun? Well, you just plant the seeds, you wait, and then it just kind of happens. You know, farming is one of my highest skills on any of my accounts, just because of how you don't really think about it and it just kind of happens. So for that, definitely gotta give that a 10. It's fun to just see it climb without real effort being put in. Does the skill have a variety of methods? Well, unfortunately no. You kind of just put the seed in, put the compost on it, or you pay for it and then you wait. There's Hespori, the boss, which is about 1/13 of 99 if you even can kill it that many times, but pretty much the skill is more or less the same. So for that, let's give it a 5. Giving it a total of 35 points puts it right into A tier. This is the final tier list. Let me know what you think about this tier list. Maybe make your own and post it in the comments. But here is the unofficial official tier list for me. That's all I had for today. Thank you for watching. Peace.